Okay, so guys, I think we should start now. So some familiar faces, some not so familiar faces. So I welcome all of you to this webinar today. So basically the topic for our webinar is how to have an effective expression of a narrative. It's very important at times as to how we communicate. Okay, so today being your resource person, my name is Charvi, and I am working as an HR psychologist with Digital Ready. And here I would like to present before you, apart from technicalities, what we can work on, how we can improve, and what we can make better.
Ma'am, we are getting disturbance, ma'am.
It's not clear for you guys?
Yes, madam, not clear your voice.
Okay, please mute yourself, all of you. Make sure everyone is on mute. Guys, now is it okay? I hope there's no disturbance now.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, okay, ma'am.
Great, great. Okay. So as I was mentioning, you know how important is as to how we speak, the way we hold ourselves, the way we talk. So basically, these are very important factors when it comes to taking up a job later on, because as you're moving with the present industry demands, everyone has a very, very important component.
Madam, your voice not audible. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, madam. Not.
Yeah. Please, guys, check your internet connections also and let me know, okay? Just message me. Kindly do not interrupt in between. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So talking about how important it is when we speak, the body language, gestures. So see, guys, today I'm not going to tell you any theoretical perspectives, because these things are something that need to be actually learned from seeing each other, right? So as over here, I'm presenting a webinar to you. Also, I have certain pictures of myself. Okay, I have a certain video also for you guys to understand as to what I mean when I'm talking about all these things. Plus, I'll be also pertaining to the theoretical aspect as to how you can improve. So all of you, I'll also be talking to you guys as to what you face the problems as when you're talking, or, you know, sometimes what happens is when I'm going on stage, when I have so many people around me, so I get scared. I'm not able to talk. Then what do I do? So these are very little things that we need to work upon, but definitely these things have a solution. And I'll not give you solutions which are very complicated, or, you know, you guys cannot do it. But honestly, trust me, as a mentor also, I'm talking to you over here. So it's very simple that, you know, these exercises that I'll be mentioning, you guys can actually do it on your own also. It's just that one step needs to be taken, and together, I think, since we've gathered over here, it would be a great opportunity to learn from each other and improve our skills, right? So moving further, see, communication works for those who work at it. That's what I'm beginning with. So it's very important for us to begin with our communication, and we need to put in that extra effort, that one step forward, in order to make it work, in order to make it communicate as to what we want. So guys, most of the times what happens is what we're trying to convey doesn't get conveyed. And that's where the gap between the communication comes in. I know what's there in my head. I know what I have to present, but it's not coming out in a way. So again, what I'm going to talk about is the expression parts. Expression is very, very important. And thus, you know, communication is not simply just talking. So right now I'm talking, right? but it's my responsibility to make you guys understand what I actually want to convey. Otherwise, my entire purpose just goes off. So when I'm describing communication, it's very simple. I often use these words. So communication involves, of course, telling, number one, number two, listening, number three, understanding. So the sender and the receiver, there has to be a proper channel, a proper medium in which the words are said and the words are delivered. So we have certain fundamentals with us, as you can also see on my screen. Okay. So communication, of course, is important when we want to exchange our thoughts, opinions, facts, emotions, everything. So when we communicate with someone, so what is the most obvious part that the people are looking at? It's the face, right? And that's why we are also focusing on the non-verbal aspect of communication today, which plays a major role. If I'm talking about something happy, but my expression is sad and it's grumpy. So what do I mean by grumpy? It's very like this. Then you guys would also think like, what is she trying to convey? What her face is conveying and the way she's talking, both are different. So, we want to bridge that gap between communication and miscommunication in order to come out well, in order to speak well, deliver well, and ace our technical knowledge with our body language and communication skills. Okay, so we begin with the fundamentals now. Number one, empathy. So what is empathy now? Empathy is basically imagining oneself in the shoes of the other person, if I have to put it metaphorically. What do I mean by this? So I'm talking right now over here and you guys are at the receiving end. Okay, so I'll make sure, since I have a wider crowd, so I'll obviously make sure that these guys who are present over here are understanding what I'm speaking. So it's like I'm imagining myself in the place of the audience today. Because if I keep on saying and the audience is not able to understand one word out of it, or they're just confused with the entire idea that I was trying to portray, my communication skills aren't worth for it. And the most important thing is, why is empathy important? Empathy is very important for the very reason because we all have different types of surroundings where we have to communicate. Right, guys? So we'll be going in a job, we communicate in our family, we communicate with our friends. And all of you know there is, of course, a difference in how we communicate everywhere. So it's our responsibility to make sure that wherever, in whatever space, time we are communicating, it's effective. The ultimate goal is to be effective.
Yeah.
Okay, second, pausing. So when we are writing something, we make full stops. Similarly, when we have to speak, we need to have full stops. We need to give proper pauses in between the words in order to understand how the speaker is trying to convey a particular thing and how the receiver is basically understanding a particular thing. So similarly, I'll be trying this activity with you guys also. After one point, I'll stop and I'll ask you guys to reflect on what was I speaking. Did you guys actually understand what I was trying to convey? So this pausing at right places is very important. So many of the times what happens is when we are communicating, what are we doing? So we do, so this, there's so many times when we come up with this, in order to fill in our pauses. And of course, I'm pretty sure since some of you I know over here also, and I have had discussions with them also on this, it looks very bad sometimes when the person is just listening to these us. So you know that fluency with appropriate pauses is important. Even if you have to think about something, you guys can think it over without filling in that space of So it's very important how fluent we are with our communication with whatever language we are using. But since English is a universal language, that's what we do. Third factor, introspection. So what do I mean by introspection? Introspection is basically reflecting on myself. So as I was saying, after this webinar, the solutions, the tips that I would be giving you, possibly, if you guys really adopt them, you wouldn't need my help also further. So you would be able to, just see for yourself as to how it's coming out and where you have to improve. So if I mentor you for like once, twice, thrice, after that, I think you would also know where I falter, where I need to improve, and the communication process just becomes easy. Conversational skill, again, very important. How we are conversing with each other. With parents, it's different. Mentors, it's different. Teachers, different. Siblings, different. Friends, different. Where do we have that barrier in communication is very important. That barrier, that line needs to be defined clearly to whomever you're talking, and how you're talking is very important. If you're going to your boss and talking in a loud pitch, it's not acceptable. So we need to make sure the protocols, as we say, need to be followed decently enough according to the work setting, family setting, informal setting, how we are conversing. Otherwise, even if your intention wasn't bad, it can actually become bad in the minds of other people simply by just the way you're speaking. So we need to be careful of this particular factor as well. Respective vocabulary, the words we use. Sometimes what happens is we often tend to fill up our gaps with some unwanted words which do not make sense. So even if we're keeping a simple language, we need to make sure that what we had in mind is put across, and that proper vocabulary. So what do you mean by vocabulary? The words that you use. So even if you guys are writing down something, make sure that it's not offensive to anyone, as certain words can be offensive if you're using it in a particular setting. Okay. So I hope all these things are making sense to you guys before we move on to the verbal and the non-verbal part of it, right? Are you guys with me on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Verbal communication. Now we are moving on to the verbal communication. What is verbal? Verbal is basically how we speak and put forward our thoughts, ideas, and emotions. Building rapport. So now what do you mean by building a rapport? How to build a rapport is very important. So see, if I'm meeting you for the first time, of course, there is one barrier that stays between the two of us. Okay. There is, of course, like you'll also be skeptical. You'll also be a little doubtful about the fact how I should talk to her, whether I should talk to her or, let it be, I shouldn't express myself. So this relationship needs to be formed between you as well as me being the mentor, you being the audience, you being the participant. There has to be this relationship which needs to be formed between the two of us, which should be good. Okay. And sustaining the conversation is very important. At no point you guys should feel that, it's boring. I don't think I should listen to her really. When this thought comes in, it means my communication is not very clear, and possibly I would not appreciate it. So for example, if you guys are delivering a speech to me for a 1-minute speech, if I just come up and you guys are delivering a speech to me, and after one point, if I get bored and if I start checking my phone and if I'm like, fine, I mean, technicalities, even I know, then what is this guy doing? So how do we do it? Especially when you guys go for the jobs, when you have to give presentations, what matters the most is how you're upholding yourself, the confidence that you wear. So, just like you wear your clothes, it's very important to wear that confidence within you so that even if someone questions you, you have that confidence to answer back in a particular way. And how you'll maintain that confidence and everything will come up later in the slide. Clear communication. So what do I mean by clear communication? Being direct, precise, concise. What do I mean by this? Whatever I have to convey, I'll convey it straight instead of going here, there, and then reaching the point. No, this path is not favorable everywhere. Sometimes a straight, direct path is something which is more important, and you need to be good with your words. So even if I say that you have to reduce your 1-minute speech into a 30-second speech, you should be ready for it. Because at times, further in life, when you will have such impromptu conversations, impromptu presentations, you can't really tell them, just give me some time, I need to prepare. No one waits like that. So we need to be that spontaneous, that ready, so that whenever we are given something to talk to, we just ace our task. What do I mean by acing the task? We just kill it in a way that we succeed it completely. Okay, improving vocal pace and tone. So what do I mean by vocal pace? Vocal, the way I'm talking, my pace. So sometimes what might happen is some of you might think my pace is too fast, and you need to tell me that you are going way too fast. Please slow down. So often in schools also this happens, right? Sometimes the kids are not able to process it. So you need to tell me, okay, no, you're saying it too fast for me. I'm taking time to process it. Like, just understand what you are saying. And my tone. So what is tone? Tone is basically, if I have to tell you something which is like, okay, which is like, normal, I'll be speaking in a normal pitch, a normal volume. But if I have to pinpoint a particular thing, if I have to pinpoint a heading, I would go louder in my voice. Just as you saw the fluctuation I'm making, I suddenly become louder. Why? Because I want your attention at that particular point of time, and I want you to stress on that particular heading or time and listen to me on that. So that's how, guys, you maintain and engage the audience with whatever you are doing. Okay. Then we come to responding to others. So often when we are talking, we wait for the person to finish so that we can speak. No, just listen to what the person is trying to tell you. Reflect over the ideas. Reflect over what empathy we were talking about in the very beginning, the fundamentals, and then respond. Active listening skills. As I began, I always mention in all my sessions and everything that it's very important to listen first, reflect upon it, and then respond. If you're just responsive in a quick, hurried way, it's possible you might not feel good later about that. And if you think the situation from a different perspective, then you might think, I could not have responded in a particular way. I could have been better in this. So, these are several things which we need to be careful of. Turn taking and avoiding interruptions. So, for example, I'm speaking and you guys just come and just start speaking in between. What happens is the flow of my communication lessens. Okay, so possibly whatever I had in mind, it'll just slip off my mind because one of you interrupted. But at the same time, I would often tell you, please be ready for that also, because this is no excuse that you can make that since you interrupted me, I forgot my point. No, if I'm confident about what I'm delivering, I know it and I have to ace it. Okay, so these things need to be kept in mind. Further, now we are moving to the non-verbal part. So before we move further, I would like to ask you guys, like, is there any input that you would want to share with me? Anything that you guys would want to talk about before we move on to the non-verbal part? Anyone who can unmute and talk, it's fine with me. Anything. Anyone wants to share something, some experience of their life, those who are working professionals or anyone, those who are freshers also for that matter, if they have had any experience as such, they can let me know. Or maybe towards the end of the session, if you would want to give some feedback, share some experience, or would like to get connected with us, we would be more than happy to help you, because ultimately that's our aim, right? So anyone wants to say something, or else I'll just move forward. So do we move forward, or any responses are coming from our audience?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
This is Sandeep, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. You would like to say something? It's okay. You don't have to be shy. All of us are learning, Sandeep. It's okay. You can express. Since this entire workshop, the webinar is about expression, let's just express. No, let's just vent out. Let's just get it out. So it's okay. Whatever you want to say, please tell me.
I have no experience to anyone, madam. Anything.
You have your,
How to say things.
you want to share something with us?
Nothing, madam.
Okay. Okay, fine, Sandeep. Okay, so moving on to the non-verbal part. So guys, over here, I'll be enacting and showing it to you. Okay, so based on my experience, since you guys are not sharing anything, so I'll be that person who will initiate. Okay, so maybe all of you also gain confidence after that. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean, because these things I don't want you to just read on the slides. No, I wouldn't want that, because that doesn't really help. Okay, but these are just for our reference that we are using over here. Okay. Okay, learn how to engineer a confident body language. Important highlights are body language over here. Okay, it's very important as to how you appear. So by appearance, I mean your clothes also. I mean your body language also. The most important accessory, like you guys wear your belt, ties and everything, body language and confidence has to be worn equally with confidence. Okay. Then feel more comfortable in your own skin. You know, sometimes what happens is people are not okay with the fact, how am I looking? What if I say something? Will she judge me? Will he pass comments on me? Let's just ignore this set of thoughts aside and focus on the work we have. It's fine. All of us are learning. We might get a positive feedback. We might get a negative feedback. It's okay. Let's just learn to accept and not be fearful of the rejection. With rejection comes acceptance, guys. So always remember, till the time you're not given negative feedback, you can't improve. If today no one tells me where am I going wrong, how do I improve? I'll think I'm the best one. I'm the perfect one. But then where is my growth? Where is my developmental stage? How am I developing in my career, in my future, in my life? Nothing. It'll be stagnant. What do I mean by stagnant? Stable, a straight line. The graph should be like this, no, as I'm growing older. If it's like this, then what's the point of my existence? How do I improve? So feel more comfortable. If I am what I am, if this is my hair, this is my body, it is what it is me. And if I'm doing my work professionally, I'm confident about it so that no one points a finger at me. Okay? This thing comes only when you're confident about yourself. Very important. Maintaining an eye contact is super important. So some familiar people again would agree with me over here, because I think this is the common conversations we keep having about how eye contact plays a very, very important role. You're supposed to look at the person you're talking to. You know, looking here, then looking there, looking here, it doesn't work. The person who is looking at you gets to know within a second of a time frame that this person is forgetting something or this person has missed something. And that's why those faces are coming up, which is like this. It's here, it's there, looking down, getting nervous all of a sudden. So guys, my entire point, stays that you need to play with this face. Even if you're nervous, even if I'm very anxious today that, I have a webinar, I have a seminar, I can't let it come on my face. There is no scope for letting it come on my face. That's just not an option. Even if whatever it is there, let it be inside of me so that no one pinpoints a finger. The girl who was delivering that webinar seemed very scared, seemed very fearful. She tried to put her best foot forward. She was doing okay, but she was scared. No, let's not leave the scope of buts and ifs in our lives. Let's just do what we want to do with full confidence. We'll get wrong, right? We'll get negative responses. We'll get rejection. They might say, okay, you are not good enough for our company. Fine, we can be best one for the other one. So that's how we need to play with the face. And once you start learning playing with this, even if you go wrong with your technical skills, technicalities, it just gets ignored. And that's what my personal experience has been, be it in college, be it in organizations, that if you're confident enough, even the wrong thing seems right. Why? Because, honestly, After 2 minutes, after 3 minutes, 5 minutes, no one is actually listening to the technical part of it. What matters the most is how you are delivering it. You'll only be able to gather the attention of the people when you're confident, when you are good, they listen to you and they'll give you the improvements as to how you can improve your technical skills or what you need to learn more and all that. So important, eye contact. Learn how to appear more positive and trustworthy. So how do you appear positive? Firstly, dressing sense, very important. Going for your interviews, please be there in your formals. Today, if I'm delivering something to you and I sit in a night suit, how will it appear? You would actually feel that, is this person not really serious of what she's doing or what is she trying to do? Positive and trustworthy is very important. How do I appear positive? Clothing is one thing. Face should be presentable. I'm not talking about having makeups and everything. No. By positive, I mean, one smile that we have can also be positive at times. So whenever you're going to a new recruiter, whenever you're going to a company, always greet them before you start with your session. Ask them if you can come in the room. That is number one thing. These are certain etiquettes that we need to make sure. Before sitting down, ask them, may I please take a seat? Number two. Number three, your clothes will actually determine a lot because the recruiter starts judging you from the very point you enter into the room, from the door to the chair that you have to sit on. So wearing a suit proper with a tie and everything, it just gives a good formal look. And trust me, if you actually dress up like this, it also gives you confidence because you have dressed up, you're going for something big. So you will be pretty confident about that. Have the ability to interpret the body language of other people. So guys, it's very important how you interpret the body language of other people. But at the same time, do not give wrong signals to the other people also, because remember, if you are judging the body language of the other person, even your body language is being judged by the other person. So if you are telling me something serious, so for example, if I have to tell that, I lost a relative of mine or something of that sort, and I keep smiling and I'm like, I lost a relative of mine, how would it look? The recruiter would actually call me stupid that this person does not know how to convey emotions in the first place, what he or she will do in my company. So if something of that sort happens in my company, that person will be smiling there in the corner. So never do this. Never have inappropriate emotions on your face, please, because it can be interpreted in the wrong way. It's fine. I'm okay with the fact that, some people do not feel emotions. They are okay with everything happening in life. But please try to cover the inappropriate gestures. Like, of course, every one of us knows we have to be sad when we are hearing something sad. We can smile if there's something happy. So if your boss is telling, okay, you are getting a promotion and he's very excited, or just saying that, our company got promoted, and I'm like, oh, it got promoted. Then what will the boss or the person think? That is this guy really happy also of my promotion, or no emotion attached? So, again, playing with this is what comes in. Okay, so moving further is, okay, here is a video. Okay, so just look at it. Okay, I'll also play it and pause it again. Just look at this for a second. This is just body language that I'm trying to portray. Okay, so there are three emotions which are there. Okay, over here, which are attached. I'll let you know what are these. Just have a look. Okay, so this is the first part that I was talking about, slouching, as it is called in English. Whenever I'm delivering, so you guys know how I sit. Those who have had sessions with me, they know. I always tell them to always sit upright. What do I mean by upright? This thing should be straight. I can't be like this. Yeah, so I am giving my interview, I'm giving my webinar, and I'm slouching. So the position that you see in front of me is what is slouching. Slouching is just, bending your shoulders down and just being like that. It's a sign of a negative body language, that this person is slouching, which means that either she's not very interested or she has lost interest or something of that sort. Okay, so this is the example of slouching, which I have given. So number 1 point stays, always sit upright. It's like straight. And there's a very biological aspect which is joined to it. The biological factor says that the more you sit upright, when you are sitting up straight, you have a flow of positive thoughts in your mind. And positivity is all we desire, as we have been mentioning this. So this is actually scientific and not what. Number 2. So what happens is sometimes when you guys are nervous with something, we start playing with our hands like this, and something is happening, looking down here and there, fingers going like this. The person who sees it, it appears really bad. And, within a second, the person would get to know this person is not confident. And the job is gone. Because, the thing is, you can work on your technicalities, but personality grooming is something people do not want to actually invest time on. And that's what we aspire. So even in our academy, what we do is we obviously aspire personality grooming aspect, and we have a team for which we work towards the candidates, give them time, give them personal attention in order to develop these skills. Because all of us, I think all my colleagues would agree to that, how important these skills are when you're going out, when you're stepping out, and no one teaches them. And no one can teach them till the time you follow and you put in effort. But someone has to tell you that, these places you need to actually figure out. Okay, let's go on to the third part now. This was the second nervous part. So sometimes when we are remembering something, what we do is we start looking here and there, right, left, above, down, giving expressions which are completely confusing. Such places, you do not have actually the scope to do all this. That's what I said in the very beginning. Maintaining an eye contact is utmost important. If you do not have a straight eye contact, it's just gone for you then and there. If you start looking above, right, left, doesn't work, guys. It really doesn't work. It shows that the person is not able to convey. There's a problem in the expression, and that's what we need to rectify when we are here together. So, to reach to a solution, as we say in our organization also, we need to figure out the problems in a particular way so that we can find a solution. So these are some problems that I think I also as a person underwent when at my age, when I was little. So I also underwent, I found solutions to it, and therefore I am here to help you guys. So because I know how these things play an important role and how you guys can improve and actually be on top. Everyone can talk, right? Everyone can speak. But how do you actually have that extra factor within yourselves? How do you think the recruiter says, okay, I'm choosing this guy over this guy? You need to have something extra, no? So that extra is what we aspire here. Okay. So moving further, again, it's me. Okay. So why I felt I should be there, guys? It's just simply because of one reason, that when I tried to convey something to you, these things would make much more sense rather than having some other pictures. Okay, so it's me. So I have mentioned the emotion against every picture. So just see how your body language actually talks about what. First picture is arrogance. When you're just sitting with your arms like this and, legs wide apart and just sitting and staring into the other person, just like, sitting back. This gives a very bad image that the person is really arrogant, and no one actually wants arrogant people. Annoyed. When I'm sitting on a table and, I'm just, again, seeing you like that with such eyes, of course it would show I'm arrogant. Irritated. How do you showcase That irritation is what's depicted in the third picture. It's just frustrating. Happy. So when I'm happy, of course, I'm supposed to be giving a smile. I'm supposed to be smiling. So that is what it is. Confused. Again, the expression just shows it all. I think even if I remove all of these titles, all these expressions would be quite self-understandable to all of you. And then worried. So at times what happens is when you guys are worried, it's often, it happens, you want something to hold on, or, either playing with the fingers like this, or you want something to hold on, like, like a cloth or something. Or I've even seen girls holding on their kurtis or tops because they get so nervous. Palms get sweaty. So there's some sweat also here because of the nervousness. It's okay to feel all these emotions. But again, as I say, our job remains to solve these problems. Okay. So this is something which is very important. And the worried expression is what is shown in my last picture. So guys, there's also an intention behind these pictures. I am not showcasing the emotions to you. No, I'm not trying to showcase something of that sort. What I'm trying to also showcase is how you express yourself with how to express yourself actually with your eyebrows is what I'm pointing out at. Okay, so it's very important. If you guys can see over here in several pictures, I have actually played with my eyebrows in a way to express emotions. So that's what also I'm pinpointing. I'm not here to showcase different emotions or something. No, that can be one part, we can consider it. But at the same time, how do you play with your eyebrows in different ways is what I wanted to teach you. Because if I talk about moving your eyebrows, it doesn't make sense to any person. So that's why I captured myself in all of these pictures, playing with my eyebrows. In happy, you see there's a difference in the eyebrows. In worried, you see there's a difference. In the irritated one, you see there is irritation. In the confusion, you see how my eyebrows are going. So all of these have different sets of eyebrows in order to convey proper communication to the person who's listening, right? So all of you are with me over here. So everyone is able to understand what I am trying to convey.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes,
Okay, now we are moving on to the positive versus the negative body language. Since I've already spoken about the eyebrows and everything, so now I just want to tell you what is positive and what is negative, because of course we should know, right, what is positive and what is negative, since we are talking so much over body language, gestures, this, that. Head nodding shows patience and understanding. What do I mean by head nodding? Head nodding is moving your head like this. This is nodding. This means I am listening to you. I'm engaged in the conversation. It shows I'm understanding what you're trying to convey. Furrowed brow. What do I mean by this? Eyebrow. That's what I mean. Shows confusion, disagreement, and discomfort. Now see, if I'm not comfortable, if I did not understand a particular thing, I'll be like, oh, what? Oh. So my eyebrows are going in a different way, right? So it shows confusion. Either she wants to speak something, she wants to convey something, or there's something which is wrong and going in her head. It's very clear. Eye contact shows interest and confidence. I'm looking straight. I can't look here. I can't look here and deliver my webinar. Imagine if I keep looking at the side just because I'm scared of all the people and I keep speaking like this, how would it look? No, effective. It's not effective. Next time you would say, oh, that person who was looking on the other side and talking, we don't want to come for her, right? So that confidence, that's what I said. It's the most important accessory you wear along with your belt, ties, and everything. Lack of eye contact shows discomfort and also dishonesty. So I'm very sure even you must have had such experiences with your friends where, if they are hiding something from you, or with your parents also for that matter, we do not maintain eye contacts. We often lose it. It's like, aankhon mein kuch dikh na jaye. So what is it? Something should not be visible in our eyes, that we are lying about something or whether we are hiding about something. So we tend to ignore the eye contact. So these things is what we need to keep in mind. Smiling genuinely shows positivity and warmth. If I'm smiling like this, In between, it shows positivity and warmth. Please remember, you're not supposed to smile every time. No, that looks stupid. That looks, this person, I don't know, is smiling for no reason. In between also, even if I'm talking something serious, and if the person is like, it looks very stupid. So please do not know it. You should actually know when to smile. Greeting someone, and when you have the conversation done with someone, you smile. These are the two places that you have to smile. Mandatory, right? And in between, if your mentor maybe, has cracked some joke, or if there's some light moment that has happened, you can smile. But not while delivering something which is technical or which is important. No. Frowning. What is frowning? Sometimes, people try and give fake smiles. It shows discomfort, disinterest, and tension, and completely it's a turn off. Okay, sometimes people are like, they pretend that, they are okay with the fact, but they are not. And it's completely visible. That's what frowning is, the fake smile that we call. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're not doing this. And that's why I say, if you are judging other people's body language, please make sure even they are judging your body language. So if you feel sometimes what happens after when you guys go for recruitment and everything, you say, yeah, I feel that recruiter was pretty impressed with what I was saying. How do you judge it? It's completely facial expressions and body language. Because what people say, yeah, because he was smiling, because he was nodding his head also. I think it's a positive response. So please remember, if you tend to pass such judgments, even he or she is passing judgments about you. So we need to make sure that it's a two-way process. I have focused deliberately on these points. Again, it's all on my experience. Fine. For the rest of the webinars, possibly, we together can come up with the topics as to where you guys falter, so that it's actually in the best of the interests for you guys. But this is what I feel is something to have a proper emphasis on. So when maintaining an eye contact, what are the do's and what are the don'ts? Keep a relaxed, neutral expression on your face. Smile while maintaining an eye contact. Shift your gaze naturally in a small circle if you're speaking to a group of people. What do I mean by this? If I'm talking to all of you, and if I'm face to face, if I'm in a group, I'm supposed to be looking at each and every person in the group. If I maintain an eye contact with only one person, that's not right. Other people can feel neglected, even if your intention was of not neglecting them. Please avoid it. If you're in a group, do not stare at any random wall just to overcome your fear. No, you need to look. You need to have an eye contact with all the people sitting in the room, whether they are scattered. What do I mean by scattered? Whether they're sitting here, there. It's your responsibility to look at each one of them. Use appealing facial expressions to show you are listening and to prevent a glazed look. So, as we've spoken about how nodding can be a good option, that you're able to understand, you're able to process what is being said. So these are some points that can be taken care of. Let's come to the no section of it. Do not do it. Don't look down suddenly. It makes you timid or scared. Down, as I showed, down, right, left, above. It makes you look scared. Don't stare for too long. It might appear intimidating. So if I keep staring also at a particular time like this, it might feel awkward for the other person. That's why I'm telling you, whenever you are in a group, please shift your eye contact from one person to another person, third person, fourth person. So for example, if you guys go for an interview and there's a panel which is sitting, right? If you keep staring at just one person, it will feel awkward. So do not do that. Look at one, then second, then third, then fourth. I think that is how we communicate with our friends also, right? So when we are talking with our friends and there's an entire group of friends that we have, we just not talk to one. We keep shifting our focus from one person to another. And why? The basic aim is just to make everyone feel involved. Like, we all are together. It's involvement. Then don't stare at other elements that might stand out unintentionally. That is just some examples, okay? Low cut shirt, longer facial hair, a wig, just do not stare. Sometimes what happens is if a flower pot is also kept on the table, sometimes people keep staring at like anything, like, just staring at that and speaking. No, please do not do that. You can have a look, fine. Sometimes things distract you. I agree with you completely on that. Some things can be distracting for you, that, there's a flower pot which has been kept, or there is supposedly a pen or a pencil that can be distracting for you, which is kept. Look at it, but please make sure that you change your focus from that and come back to yourself and maintain an eye contact with every person if you're there in a room. Then don't fidget. So what do I mean by fidget? Movements. This is one. Then, doing this again, settling down in the chair again and again. Please take 2 minutes of your time as you enter. Sit down, maintain like this, whatever you want, whatever position you are comfortable in, and please sit in that. If you keep doing this, then you pick a pen and then play with it, then you pick up something and then you do this, it looks very bad. That's why if you would have seen, even when children are there, we often tell them not to fidget so much, because such movements are very disturbing. Okay, so these are the little things that we need to make sure that we are not doing. So guys, are you with me till here? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to convey to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
doubts?
ma'am.
Yeah, please ask me if there are any doubts, any problems, anywhere, where you're not able to understand. Please do ask me. After all, it's all for you, right? So please tell me if you're not able to get a particular thing or something of that sort. Please let me know.
Madam, can you explain difference between one-to-one communication and two-way communication?
Yeah. One-to-one communication and what? Difference between what?
One-to-one communication and two-way communication.
Okay, so one-to-one is what we are having right now, right? So are you like asking the words that I used, right? At a two-way communication. Okay, so one-to-one communication is what we are doing right now. It's I'm talking to you, you are talking to me, it's one-on-one. Okay, two-way communication, what I meant by two-way communication was, if I am telling you something and if you are telling me something, both should be at the same page. What I mean by same page, both should understand what each other, like one of us and the two of us, are trying to convey with one another. If I tell you, for example, I'll give you an example. Okay, if I tell you something regarding, say, for example, okay, I'm talking about emotions only. Fine. I say, so Ganesh, are you happy right now? And with my presentation, and then you go like, you're trying to tell me, okay, I'm not really happy, but I'm fine with it also. You're smiling, but you're telling me you're not happy. So this way, I'm not really able to understand what is actually Ganesh trying to tell me. Is he like okay, or is he like not okay? Okay, so two-way communication is that we both are able to explain to each other what we are trying to say. Actions should not differ with the words. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Got it, Ganesh? Clear?
Yes, madam, I got it.
Great. Anyone else? Anything? Any other doubts? Any other places you guys feel you're stuck or you want my help?
No, ma'am.
Okay, should we move forward? Okay. So we have gestures. I'm giving you 1 minute of time. Please pay emphasis on the 3 kinds of gestures that I've put across, because we are discussing these. So just read through it. I'm giving you 1 minute for this. Okay, so just go through it. What I want to actually talk about, you should be clear. So that's why I'm giving you a minute's time. Please go through it and then we'll discuss. Okay, guys. So I think we are starting with this. I mean, we're talking about the gestures part now. Empathetic gestures. I explained you the meaning of empathetic gestures in the very beginning, right? So what do they indicate now? So it's just, you should know as to some gestures, what they are called, and how you can go about them. That's why I've put up certain terms over here so that you should know about the technical aspect also. Like we say, technical as well as non-technical go hand in hand. Okay. So now empathetic gestures indicate earnestness and conviction. For example, a clenched fist suggests strong feelings such as anger. What do I mean by this? Conviction. How you actually take the other person in confidence. This is my fist. When we are angry with something or someone, what often do we do? This is what we do. Clenched fist, that is like this. What does it show? Anger. It's a gesture to show anger. Moving on, we have suggestive gestures. Helps a speaker to create a desired mood or express a particular thought. A shrug of the shoulders indicates ignorance, perplexity, or irony. Shrug of the shoulders, this. Sometimes we do know, like if a person is asking us something and we do not know and we are like, I don't know. Shrug, moving the shoulders like this. That is suggestive gestures that you tend to use. Okay. Or maybe,
If at all we don't know, we should speak out from our mouth, no, ma'am, instead of shrugging our shoulders.
Correct. That's what we're talking about, Sainam, that we need to have proper gestures when we are doing this. Sometimes just imagine, even if you have understood everything and you do this, I would actually interpret it as this guy did not understand or something was wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. So
We'll
that's
be in confusion.
Yes, exactly. So we need to bridge that gap. Prompting gestures. They are used to help to evoke a desired response from the audience. If you want listeners to raise their hands, applaud, or perform some specific action, you'll enhance the responses by doing it yourself. Sometimes what happens is, in the beginning, this happened when you guys were not talking only. What did I say? I'll only start. That's what I said. I'll only start enacting. I'll showcase my videos. Maybe then you guys can talk. And now 2-3 of you came up with your ideas or, whatever confusions you had or whatever it was. So these are prompting. So what is prompt? I start, you follow. So for example, what happens is sometimes there's a crowd and the speech is over and no one is clapping. Okay. So I'll only start clapping like this. So everyone follows. And this is what most of the times it happens. Everyone follows and they'll also start clapping like that. So these are prompting gestures. So if I want a particular action to come from you, I'll say, chalo, I'll only start with this. I begin with it. And of course, you guys will follow it then. So this,
I'll take the initiative. You people will follow me.
Yeah, so it's like that. Correct. So if I want that, now at this particular time, I wanted clapping. I'll start clapping so that you guys you'll also say, okay, she's clapping, chalo, I'll also clap now. So it's like that. Okay, so it's just a hint you get and then you also follow the same action. Now, guys, we've spoken about all the problems till now. Now, what we are coming to is how to enhance the technique. Okay. Mirror therapy, as it's called scientifically, I'll explain what it is. Or you can also focus on the self-recording sessions to gain an insight about yourself. Open your cameras. Selfie mode is open. If you have prepared even a 1 minute of speech, record it, see it. And just forget yourself for a minute and just imagine if someone else is actually looking at this speech right now, what he or she will think about it. Just imagine for that for a while. And you'll actually get to know, where you are faltering. Similar therapy is with the mirror. Go in front of the mirror. This is my mirror. I'm talking in front of the mirror, seeing my expressions, seeing my body language. I'll get to know within a minute where I'm faltering and what I can make better. Preparing impromptu speeches. As I said, in the life, you do not know what's going to happen. So you can't be like, give me 5 minutes, I want to prepare. No. What if something is just falling on your head like that? Then what? You need to be prepared. Impromptu is spontaneous. Okay, so that is very important, that you need to be ready for the challenges of life, and you need to have a fluent speech rather than being like no, it doesn't work. Group plays, group activities, role plays. Now, what do I mean by group activities and why am I saying group activities? Sometimes what happens is we are very comfortable when we are doing a one-to-one communication. I am there and one person other is connected with me and we are very happy.
When we discuss in group, we'll get so many ideas. Why? Because we have friends
Correct.
around that, so we'll get ideas about it.
Exactly. That's my entire point. You get to know about the ideas and the fear, the anxiety that you have in talking in front of so many people, it just goes off. And this doesn't happen overnight, guys. Let me tell you, you need to practice and you have to practice every day to make it happen. I'm telling you, if you honestly put in even 30 minutes for these tasks, you'll be able to actually overcome it, because I've done it myself. I'm not giving you any content which I've taken from books, from Google or whatever. No, it's all my personal experience. It is possible my experience might not help you guys, but we can try. No, we obviously have to try in order to understand what works for one person and what does not work for the other person. So group plays, again, the basic point is to overcome the stress and to overcome that anxiety that you might have while conversing in a group. Yes, so that is pretty much it. And this was also a part of my discussion, as I'm working in Digital Ready and we are a digital marketing institute, as some of you guys must also be knowing about it. So we have had like 150 plus batches, 4,000 plus happy students. So we often give them placements, which is sure shot for the freshers, and placement assistance for the people who have already been experienced. So we have been there in this field for quite a long period of time. There are certificate courses that you tend to attain with us. So we basically work on practical thinking. Apart from having highly qualified mentors, we focus on personality grooming, and we have a team for that, which solely focuses on how to improve the individual so that the person is ready for the market. That's what we do. And guys, that's pretty much from my end. Now I'm open to all the discussions and whatever doubts you have. Anyone wants to say something, convey something. And in case of any queries and everything, I think you guys have the numbers also with you. So, or email IDs, you can definitely text us there. It's there on the website. And we would love to get back to you. And you can also forward this to your friends as to what we do, how we function, what can they expect from us. So that would be really great from your side as well as our side. So we are like happy to help you.
Hello, hi Charvi, hi everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Myself Ali this side. I
Hi, sir.
believe most of the people might be knowing me over here, and thanks Charvi for such a lovely presentation and know-how about the comm skills over here. Definitely everyone might have got certain input about it. Guys, at the end of the thing, may I request before Charvi continues further, and might be an interaction still for you with Charvi with whatever queries you have. I request you everyone to be with the cam, please. Okay, that's what we learned. That's what we learn now, right? Eye contact, body language is important, right? And we don't have our cams on, like, you know, in the digital world, it is very difficult to maintain the eye contact, right? And through the cams only we can have eye contact these days, unless and until we are not face to face. So yeah, please, I request you everyone. Charvi, it's a wonderful presentation. Let's please on the cam, and please take a one snapshot as well when
Yes,
everyone is with the cam.
Sure.
Okay, so we are requesting everyone to please be on with your cam. Is anyone out someone who is how many are alumni of Digital Ready or an outsiders? Anyone can just can let us know. You can speak, open the microphone, and can anyone and as an alumni?
No.
Okay, So I could not see like Sandhya, Vishwesh, Durga Prasad, Guna. Can't see you people still. Can we? Shall may I request you, can you please take a snapshot appropriate, let everyone is over here with the proper, everyone coming up and
Yeah, so actually my videos are very minimized because of the screen sharing.
okay.
Yeah.
Stop sharing for a
Let me,
bit.
I can do that. I can stop sharing.
yeah, stop sharing because
Yeah.
I believe you have completed your presentation.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can stop the sharing and then we can take a snapshot.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Great.
There.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Awesome. Right. So we'll just take a quick snapshot, everyone. That's great. So, Charvi, I believe you can continue further with the interaction with your closing
Yes.
presentation and everything that sort of. Okay. I hope guys you all enjoyed and definitely there was a quite learning. I was also listening for quite time and was a little bit, I was mesmerized with the way Charvi explained everything about the body language and the gesture and everything that sort of really helpful. Coming from the HR background or anything that sort of, when I heard something about, yes, it really helps to, even for cracking the opportunities outside. Whatever domain you are, communication skill plays a very important role in whatever domain you are. It's not only about digital marketing. It's not anything about one particular field, but any field you are, that plays very important role. So thank you so much for joining and thanks you for listening me as well in between. Okay, and back to Charvi. Okay.
Thank
Right.
you, sir. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yes, guys. So now we are open for discussions. We are open for whatever you would want to share with me, ask me, or, of course, see, we can't cover everything right now. Okay, that makes sense. So let's be all practical. We need to move step by step. So I know some of you, I think, have been with me from here also, Praveen, Vijay, Venla. So all of these are like people whom I keep telling every time the same things because it's important. So guys, we need to focus on certain things. Or even I can see Shrikant for that matter, Gunna, all these people, I keep telling all these things. So you tell me, even, yeah, Mamta is there. Okay, great. So ask me whatever you would want to share something or, anything, whatever, opinions, feedbacks, I'm open to all of it. Anything?
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yes, tell me.
I'm myself, Prasad.
Yeah.
Actually, I attended for an interview.
Okay.
In that, the interviewer asked me, tell me about yourself, and he's doing some other work. He's not seeing, he's not making eye contact with me.
Mhm.
What should I do at that situation?
Great. So, Prasad,
A bit nervous at the time, and I didn't perform well that's why I'm asking.
exactly. So, Prasad, that's what I was telling you. If you have to capture someone's attention, you just can't keep on talking. If I keep talking in one flow, it's not effective. You actually need to grab their attention. And since he is the senior person or she is the senior person, you can't say anything to them. That is obvious, right? You can't say, hey, look at me, I'm talking here and you're doing your work. Of course, the way you start speaking, the way you project yourself, even if he's not looking at you, that's where the role of voice modulation, the rate, the tone of your speech comes in. Prasad, that's very important. That's why I mentioned it. The moment you have variations in your voice, there is another level of confidence which is reflected. And even though he or she is not looking at you, they know that you are the right fit for the perfect job role. So make sure that you're communicating, even if the person is not looking at your face, you're communicating through your voice. Okay. And I'm very sure the person will definitely look at you, at least give you like 2 minutes to like see you and then move forward. So you need to make that aura around you. You need to have that personality, that development. And if you feel just talking can help, no. Talking, no. Talking with expression plays a role. Okay?
Thank you.
Any other person? Anything? Anyone would like to say something, share something, ask me something? Okay, so I think we can wind it off. Thank you, all of you, for joining in. And hopefully, I hope it was an enriching session for all of you. And since we are focusing on personality development, guys, make sure you only are the people who can change it. It's not me, it's not your mentors. Personality is what you want it and you change it. Okay, so all the best to all of you. And of course, you can put forward your queries, doubts, whatever on the number and the email IDs that you might be having already. And also, if you want any feedback, if you want a particular topic for a webinar, for something of discussion, you can give us that also. So thank you all of you for joining in. It was great. And thanks for sharing some experiences as well. And all the best to all of you for your future endeavors. Bye, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.